Hello there, viewers. Thank you for joining the live chat session. A warm welcome to you. Can you hear me? Thank you for responding with yes, Galmu, Daniel Gabriel. Today's topic of this live chat is a little different. What is the solution to Ethiopian problems? We always talk about the shortcomings. People say you share bad news only, you spread rumors, you are pessimist. Today we'll talk about solutions. What is the solution to problems in Ethiopia? Is there any solution available? And are parties, players in Ethiopia sincere in pursuing a solution to resolve conflicts? I'll share my views with you, what I understand should happen. And I want you to contribute as well. Let's discuss and reach some conclusions according to our discussion. What should happen? Keeping our loyalties aside, keeping ethnic background aside, keeping a regional background aside, let's think objectively. What should happen in the long term, in the short term, for lasting peace in Ethiopia? And can we say that the direction taken by the government or the demands of groups and parties in Ethiopia are pointing towards a ray of hope for Ethiopia? Before starting, let me welcome the viewers who have joined this live session. Daniel is the first one who commented. Daniel Abate, thank you for joining, Daniel. Then we have Adam Ahmad Ibrahim, Tikim Tafira. All these are regular participants. I know I am starting to remember. A Zariat Abraha, Tiabo Mangisha, Tekle Kasaya, Ilyas Likisa, Zilalam Tamasgan, Samuel Falake, RBK, saying Sajid tried Injera yet. No, I could not. I don't think it's available here where I live. A Galmu, Daniel Gabriel, Horn Analyst, Mihari Vanderit, Malis Biru, Yam Dos, TA, Teddy Fan, hello, rather. Gizahagan, Sajid Abi Ahmad is confused now because everything going down like carrot. Kor Dang, Irritian Post. Janal Komsa, Muse, Wadi Afla, Mescott, Dilhas, Abe Carreo, Bluebird, Alazar Milash, and several others have joined too. Let me read a few comments, then we'll start this live chat. Security paralyzed across Ethiopia, particularly in the Amhara region. Kor Dang. Let me respond a little. I don't know about other regions. Let's focus on Amhara. In Amhara, I've been saying the entire regional security apparatus has collapsed. I still stand by my words. That is what is on the ground situation in the Amhara region. Someone is asking about Maro. Has he returned? I don't know. I have been hearing some rumors this morning, but let me verify. I'll only share this news with you once I have verified. Musa is asking about the similarities between the civilian massacre which happened during India-Pakistan partition. Uh, that just happened during partition, but in Ethiopia, it's happening every day. Problem is that in Ethiopia, these massacres are happening quite often. This is the main problem. Topic is very interesting. Horn analyst says solution to war. Solution is remove Abiy and transitional government. Gizaegan is saying. Nationalist movement, then ethnic grouping. A is proposing. Korkor says, Saj, where did Fano get weapons? Vedi of law. Speed 5. Hi, Sajid. I've been watching you for a long time. First time commenting on the channel. Welcome, Speed 5. Elim Gizao, one of my members. First question, direct question. You said earlier Amhara's killing or Oromo also, where and how frequently? Well, Oromos are dying too in the Oromia region at the hands of security forces. At the hands of Amharas too, by the way. A few days ago, there was a massacre of Oromos in Avalega. Local Fano fighters were involved. Read some videos on that. And the massacres involving the Amhara victims ongoing. Read some videos last year to this year as well. So more dying. You can only talk about numbers. Numbers could be different, but it's not that only Amharas are dying. Oromos are dying at the hands of Oromo security forces too. Those who are suspected of having links with Ola, they're also being arrested, killed in extrajudicial encounters. We cannot say that it's just the Amhara ethnic group which is facing these problems. Ilyas says the solution is removal of Abiy's government and replacement with transitional government. I wouldn't completely agree with you. Galmo says you have chosen a good topic for discussion. Imam, hi Sajid, welcome back. Security in Amhara not collapse. The problem is infiltration of profane elements. However, the solution is to respect elected government and come to the discussion. Elected government, then invite the groups to table. Have you seen any effort for start of talks? US wants to mediate between Amhara groups and Ethiopian government, some other players too. Ethiopian government at this point of time does not want to talk to Fano fighters. Maybe Fano fighters don't as well. So no tangible effort has been made for start of talks in the Amhara region, I think, from government. Abivat PLC's solution says establish political parties and get ready for election. Okay. I like today's topic. Abdullah Jimalo says, live and learn. Amhara, Oromo, Tigray need to stop fighting for power and sue and struggle for peace. Solution for Ethiopia is to agree for each group to get transitional government. Daniel Abate says, solution is bring Jawar and Hidito Yaleo on board with genuine dialogue. Debela Dame, the status quo must not continue as long as Abiy is in power, no peace in Ethiopia. Interesting observations. I'm reading the comments from different people so that we can understand how people think, what they think should happen. what should happen according to them. So that is I'm reading the comments so that we can have just a summary of what people are thinking. Because in the end, it's the people who should decide what should happen in Ethiopia. Thomas Ababa, Ethiopians say independent, but then they say we have a land dispute. Then, if we say remove ethnic federalism, they say no. Even though it's ethnic federalism that is creating the land dispute solution. So, he's proposing that abolition of ethnic federalism, the solution. RBK says solution would be to include all of their ethnic groups, not label them as being something else. Abe Careo, did you report that many foreign fighters are surrendered by E&F in North Shore? I saw that. I saw that, but I'll speak on that in incoming videos. We've seen that a few days ago too, but no change on the ground. And by the way, if Fano has tens of thousands of fighters and 20, 30 surrendered, does it mean it's a big development? But I'll speak on that. Secession is the best option no one wants to discuss, Roddy says. Secession. How many countries will become then? How much in how many parts will Ethiopia split then? Like Mussolini, Benito, and Hitler, Abiy and Isaias must be removed to bring peace in East Africa, where the Ofla says. Haftamo Braho, the solution is when Tigray, Oromo, and Amhara form an alliance against Abiy. Bitavsali says, Sajid, thanks for your update. Is there an English Telegram channel on Ethiopia geopolitics that you recommend? I don't know. I don't know about English Telegram channels. Can you do a video on the demand difference between Ola and Fano? Okay, I'll speak on that. Unless Isaias is removed from this from his power, there'll be no peace in Ethiopia and Eastern Africa. Sefu Ashato says. Malalagan Wubante. There should be genuine transitional setup as soon as possible. Ilyas Likisa. Trust building within each other among Ethiopians. Interesting observations. That is how people think. That is what should happen according to the people of Ethiopia, people who are from Ethiopia or who are interested in Ethiopia. RBK says, Eritrea has not been in a civil war since its creation. How is SARS the problem? So RBK is proposing an Eritrea-like system in Ethiopia. I think Ethiopians deserve better. Abdi Buro says, peace talk, tolerance, and communication positively. Let's claim inhumanity together. Gadisa, if it was EDF surrounded by Fano, you will make many videos this time. Well, all day it happens. We receive reports about Fano's activities, but I share only a few. Believe me, I don't share all activities by Fano fighters. I only share major activities. Alim is asking, what are the major differences with the Oromo's party? I couldn't understand. MJ, Eritreans aren't killing each other every day, Sajid. But Eritrean model is not worth following, by the way. Eritrea has no true democracy. People are fleeing. No independent judiciary, no independent media. Peace has not translated into prosperity for Eritreans. This model, whether you follow it for centuries, will not lead to prosperity and development for the people of Eritrea. You'll see that. SM says, Sajid, it's impossible to coexist with Amharas. Gadisa says, when I criticize you, it does not mean that I don't like you. I've been following you for 2 years. Thank you, Gadisa. Now, can I speak now? Let me start this discussion by proposing a few things. Then you can add, and I'll respond to your comments and questions. Tell us about Gilmaro. Abdi is asking. I'll tell you about Gilmaro once I have verified information. I want to say a few words. I want to make a few points regarding the solution to problems in Ethiopia. Firstly, guns have been silenced in Tigray. But can we say that Tigray, that the peace deal is going to lead towards stability, democracy, transparency in Tigray? No. Gun silenced, but Tigray is in a state of turmoil, chaos like situation, infighting, political infighting, opposition versus TPLF, TPLF versus Getacheo's interim government. So it means that mere silencing of guns cannot lead to permanent solution to conflicts. For example, if today Oromo Liberation Army and Ethiopian federal government reach an agreement, they agree on ceasefire, or Fano fighters and Ethiopian government reach an agreement and guns are silenced. Can we say that it will lead to lasting peace in Ethiopia? No. Let's differentiate between signing of peace deals and permanent solution to conflicts. Ceasefire agreements lead to there's short-term solutions. Pretoria deal was a short-term solution. Main objective was silencing of guns. So this objective achieved in Tigray. This objective can be achieved maybe in Amhara too, if talks are held between Fano and the government, maybe in Oromia too. But that won't lead to lasting peace in Ethiopia. To achieve lasting peace, to achieve permanent solution, we have to analyze the reasons. Why do people take up arms? Why do people decide? Why did Iskander decide to adopt armed struggle as a way to bring about change? He was a politician, a well-known politician, though his party is not big party, an old party. But he was getting some support. He decided to abandon the political strategy and he chose to take up arms. Why did that Oromo politician say goodbye to politics? I forgot his name. Baklegarba. Why did he decide to stay in the US and maybe apply asylum there? Why is Jawar silent? Why is Mira Gudina silent? What is the reason? And why is that Jawar's party, OLF, all have sympathy, soft corner for the Oromo Liberation Army? Why is that? Why is that groups in the Amhara region support Fano? People in Amhara region support Fano. Uh, though people accuse Fano of atrocities. Tigrayans accuse Fano that Fano fighters committed atrocities against you. But why is that these armed groups get support? Ola has public support in Oromia. Fano has public support in uh, Amhara region. What is the reason? Well, armed groups are created when you block all ways of peaceful political struggle. If a country bans publicly or discreetly all modes of peaceful political struggle, you will see formation of armed groups. The armed groups are formed as a consequence of crackdown on political dissent. If opposition is not allowed to operate freely, armed groups are formed because people believe that this is the only way to bring about change. That political strategy cannot bring about a change. That is why Skandar chose to resign from Baldiras and to take up arms because he believed that political means uh, not achievable. Political means not working. So he decided to resort to armed resistance movement. Why is Ola fighting? Because Ola believe that they can only survive if they're armed. The day they lay down arms, they'll be swallowed by the government. They have bad experience of 1991, of 2018. They feel betrayed. They say they were betrayed twice in the past. How can they once again be betrayed? So they won't lay down arms. They don't believe that there is a working system which can protect their political rights. So armed groups are formed once we uh, stop and once we block all political, peaceful means of struggle. It means if political space is opened up in Ethiopia, if opposition is allowed to work freely, if government introduces democratic reforms, if youths are allowed to participate in political activities, these armed groups will lose their appeal. They are attractive for youths. Why? Because youths believe that through these armed groups, they can bring about change in Ethiopia. They don't believe that through political struggle, they can bring about change in Ethiopia. This is the main problem. Root cause of conflict after conflict in Ethiopia is that people believe that armed resistance, armed movement is the solution. And they believe that because government has blocked all roads, all ways of political struggle. Chaos. That movement was not an armed movement. That movement turned into a pain in the side of the government of that time. That movement should have turned into a political party, a political movement, opposition or government. And when that movement brought about change, that was change that EPRDF Prime Minister had to go, Abiy came to power. So that was mainly due to that KO movement, though protests in other parts of Ethiopia were seen too. So that movement could not translate into genuine political opposition or general political movement in Ethiopia. Why? Because it was not allowed to continue. PM Abiy's government, after Hachalo's murder, disbanded chaos movement. And that was the start of problems for Ethiopia. PM Abiy's government came on the agenda, on the slogan of democratic reforms in Ethiopia. And when he came to power, we saw peace deals signed between OLF and government, ONLF and government. Panonaga, Nergachusege returned to Ethiopia. Then Orthodox Church Archbishop who was in exile, he also returned to it. That was an era of reconciliation. But democratic reforms could not start. Rather, PM Abiy's government tried to consolidate his control by denying due political space to opposition parties. It denied freedom of political activity to youth. It saw chaos movement and movements in Amhara as threat to the government. KO disbanded. In Amhara region, we saw that PM Abiy was very popular when he came to power because he had support of, he had big support in the Amhara region because especially in the 2-year-long war, Abiy got support from the Amhara region because through this war, groups in Amhara wanted to crush TPLF. So Abiy very effectively disbanded a political movement which could have led to a better Ethiopia. He made alliance with groups in Amhara. Later, he launched a crackdown against those groups. So, what I understand is that just signing of peace deals is not a solution. People say Abiy should go. Abiy's departure only is not a solution. Transitional setup in in Ethiopia, it's not a solution. Liddeto Ayaleo's return, Jawar's coming to power, not a solution. Ethiopia will have to open up its politics, its political arena for youths, for opposition parties. That is the only way to stop the growing influence of armed groups in Ethiopia. But no one in power is ready to adopt this solution. You saw what happened in Tigray. Opposition party workers were beaten in Makale. Journalists were beaten in Makale. Opposition were not allowed, parties were not allowed to hold a peaceful rally in capital, Makale. In Addis Ababa, opposition nowhere to be seen. PM Abiy contested election almost unopposed. OFC boycotted, OLF boycotted, TPLF was not part of election, ONLF I think boycotted too, Baldiras boycotted too. So he ran unopposed and he elected himself. Now he's the prime minister. Main problem is that Ethiopian rulers will have to give due place to opposition. Ethiopia will have to open up its politics for youths. That is the way forward. Otherwise, you cannot stop these conflicts. You'll see a peace deal signed, underlying issues will remain unresolved, and you will see another conflict erupt after a few weeks, months, or years. And this cycle will go on. We need to stop viewing war a football match. This is war, not some kind of World Cup football. Yes, war is not something to be excited about. It's not something which should happen. Sensible politicians, people are those who prevent wars. Those who think they can bring about change through wars, they bring misery to themselves, to others too. But as I said earlier, why do people think like that? Because government has blocked peaceful political ways to bring about change in Ethiopia. That is why people think take up arms, force the government. Alim says, good point. It's not like Fano asking for new elections. Everybody wants to win the warrior way. Yes, and by the way, how can election be held in Ethiopia? Under this system, Ethiopia needs a new system with uh, ruling party versus opposition parties, independent institutions like National Election Board, like judiciary. That is when election can be held, genuine leadership can emerge. Otherwise, we saw election held in 2021. PM Abiy elected himself unopposed. Molokan media says, please, you don't know about Ethiopian politics. Please be careful. What do you suggest, Molokan? A says, Sajid, will the US allow Ethiopian disintegration? Well, I don't know if US will allow or not, but Ethiopians should not allow disintegration of their country. Ethiopians should not leave it to the US that US will stop Ethiopia from disintegrating. US cannot do anything. If Ethiopia is to disintegrate, US cannot stop. Ethiopians can stop that. Can we say now officially that Abiy is a dictator, just like Isaias. J3456 is asking question. I won't say that Abiy is an Isaias like dictator. I would only say Abiy is not interested in introducing genuine democratic reforms in Ethiopia. The Imam is saying only solution armed struggle should stop and come to discussion. Yes, discussion is solution, but what will happen after discussion? That is the main problem. Who will implement the decisions reached after discussions? How can there be a guarantee that government won't go against its commitments? What is UAE's plan on Burhan Abi rapprochement? Jay is asking. Burhan is visiting several countries. He's not just working to be close to Ethiopia, because I think he was in Djibouti today, where he met with IGAD Secretary General. And from there, he flew to Asmara. He met with Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki. Before that, he visited Nairobi, Kenya. He visited Egypt to South Sudan as well. And he is now asking for a session of IGAD. So, and that is why he's visiting IGAD countries. He wants IGAD to play a role in the resolution of the conflict in Sudan. I don't see, by the way, Burhan uh, getting very close to Ethiopia. There could be a working relationship, but Burhan is closer to Eritrea than Ethiopia, I think. That is why this is Burhan's second visit of Eritrea in the last 1 month or so. Important question from Mola Lagan Abubante. Do you think that the current regime allow the space for free will of the people? I don't think so. Government is not interested in introducing genuine democratic reforms in the country. That is why we're saying that no lasting solution to conflicts has been found. Gun silenced in Tigray only, conflicts, uh, new conflicts. In Amhara, the conflict is a new one. Jay says, why are you holding back from admitting that Abiy is a dictator? Well, I don't hold any punches, but I believe what I said. The mom says politics in Ethiopia becomes business than a public interest. Business and power. Those in power want to enhance their powers. They want to be in power forever. They consolidate their control. They crush opposition. They don't allow freedom of expression. Freedom of media is curbed. Uh, they don't allow uh, anyone to challenge their narratives, their policies. Why the world so silent about PM Abi's barbaric action against his own people? Don't expect too much from the world, by the way. So much is happening in the world, and don't expect that US would resolve each and every conflict, or UN would resolve each and every conflict in the entire world. It won't happen. Countries intervene in those conflicts where their interests are. Otherwise, why should US involve itself in Ethiopia? If there are US interests in Ethiopia, it will involve itself. Otherwise, there is no need for US to be involved here, for EU to be involved here. And UN is not known for handling global conflicts impartially. Russia attacked Ukraine. No one could stop Russia. Coups in Africa. How many? How many coups in Africa in the last 2 years? Several. Just statements from African Union, from ECOWAS. Nothing happened. Israel-Palestine conflict. Thousands died. Nothing happened. Both are facing the heat of the war. People dying. Now they are agreeing on temporary ceasefires. People should learn to resolve their problems themselves. Only Ethiopians can resolve their problems. If they think that someone from outside will come and resolve their problems, it won't happen. Samson is saying, tell us how your country achieved democracy that respects all ethnic groups. My country has no true democracy. I never said that. In my country, establishment is in power, military has been ruling directly or indirectly. There is no true democracy in Pakistan. But the ethnic tension, the ethnic violence which we see in Ethiopia uh, is not here in Pakistan. There are problems here, religious violence sometimes, some incidents of ethnic violence too, but in Ethiopia, it's a daily occurrence that you see such incidents. Don't you say that the most barbaric is Fano, not Ethiopian National Defense Force? Both are killing people, by the way. Ethiopian military is also involved in civilian deaths in the Amhara region, uh, either as collateral damage or on suspicions of supporting Fano fighters. People are being killed in the Amhara region. Fano is also killing people. Those who Fano paints as traitors, they are being assassinated by Fano fighters. So both are killing people. Jonas Masfen is asking a question about likely war. Don't you think EDF can be defeated easily if ENDF and TDF are united against Eritrea? I hope that there is no war in this part of the world. Don't know what will happen if war erupts. Let's hope that, let's pray that there is no war. Important question from Michael SFO. What do you suggest ordinary Ethiopians should do to resolve the critical issues in Ethiopia? Very important question. What should ordinary Amharas, Oromos, Tigrayans, Somalis, Afars do? They cannot protest. They cannot take to the streets. They cannot criticize the government. So what can they do? They can do a lot by them. I believe they can do a lot. They should not blindly support their ethnic groups. They should not believe that their ethnic group is born superior with some extraordinary God gifted capabilities. They should condemn the killing of each and every Ethiopian. They can do a lot, they can bring about a big change. They should not be tools of those who are in power, tools of religious leaders, tools of politicians, tools of armed groups who exploit these innocent people of the country. They can, they should refuse to be used. These people are used. They are used and discarded, thrown away. No one cares about their deaths. They can bring about change by being silent too. Problem is that people become part of conflicts. They blindly support the narratives which they believe. Do you think the solution is to make all disputed land to be owned by more than one ethnic group? Aman says, Sajid, why Horn of Africa is always a war zone? Well, apart from Horn of Africa, in other parts of Africa too, conflicts continue. And sometimes people accuse outsiders. They say colonizers or Western countries are behind these conflicts. And ruling elite members also spread this propaganda that West is to blame. uh, Drawing of borders by colonial powers led to start of tension, though it happened decades ago. I think if there are problems in Africa, Africans are to blame first. Why do they allow the outsiders to intervene in their country? Why do they allow those leaders to be in power who work as stooges for Western countries? Yunus says, I heard that UAE has given to Ethiopia the latest technology which can totally disrupt the military radio communication of Eritrea if war ever erupts. I don't know. I only know that Ethiopia showed some uh, electronic warfare systems a few days ago when there was a military parade in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital. Kara Sakha is a Russian electronic warfare system. It was shown, and Russia has been using this system for years. I think Ethiopia purchased this system to deploy around GERD. Ethiopia protecting GERD. Ethiopia deployed some air defense systems, missile systems to GERD. I did a video more than a year ago showing some satellite images confirming the deployment of air defense system to GERD. So there could be deployment of Karasakhas there. Russian electronic warfare systems. I am not aware of any other such systems given from UAE to Ethiopia. Olik Ali says, could there be a possibility for coalition between Shane, Ola, and Fano? I don't see this possibility, by the way. Uh, Ola wants a complete change in the Oromia region. It wants all parties, opposition parties, to be part of this transitional setup. Fano wants to dismantle federal government. Fano wants to remove Ethiopian PMR. So both have different agendas. Fano Ola wants a Fan Oromo to be federal working language. Ola wants Finfane to be part of Oromia. Fano wants Addis Ababa to be as a federal capital. So there is very little room for these groups to reach some uh, common ground, I think. Teketel says, Sajid, why don't you change your transmission to satellite? I have very limited resources. I don't earn much, by the way. I work so much, but I don't have resources to hire people. I don't have money to start a satellite television channel. I don't want to start a GoFundMe campaign. I'm not in support of such campaigns. So I think to launch a satellite channel, you need lots of financial resources. I don't have such resources. Sajid, where do you buy your pastor shirts? Are you talking about this shirt? Irmias, I like how you're doing now. Thank you, Irmias. Magatin, Saji, suddenly a section of viewers seem to have blues. Why do you think it is? I don't know which section of viewers is having blues. RBK says, Saji, do you understand a bit of Tigrinya Amharic? Well, I have learned only one word of Amharic so far, and that I learned 3 days ago when my little daughter appeared on this channel and a viewer used the word konjo for her. I remember that word. He said konjo means beautiful in Amharic. Sometimes I call her konjo. This is the only word which I have learned so far of an Ethiopian language. He meant your Patreons. Sam is saying that my Patreon should establish satellite channel. There is no such Patreon, no such patron rather who can set up a channel or who is financially supporting. There is no one like this one. ISL, do you want me to teach you one Tigrinya word? Go ahead. Why don't you learn Oromo? Well, which language to learn? This is the first important problem because a few months ago, I started uploading Amharic subtitles to my videos, and lots of viewers contacted me saying, Sajid, what are you doing? You're supporting Amharic language, you're supporting Amhara people. Are you against Afan Oromos? Afan Rom? Are you against Tigrinya? This is one of the problems, believe me, that for an outsider, learning an Ethiopian language is a difficult decision. Which language to learn? Barrido is the Oromo word for beautiful. Barrido. Okay, I'll try to remember it too. Barrido. I'll memorize it rather. Barrido. Same word for Tigrinya, it means beautiful. Barrido. Okay, thank you, Burz, for this live chat session. 58 minutes have passed. It was good to be with you, good to exchange views with you about some solutions. People say you are a pessimist, you never talk about solutions. But today we focused on solutions. What should happen? Uh, but I lost my signals. Baredo, Baredo. Someone is saying Baredo. Okay. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for joining this lecture session. See you tomorrow with a new topic. Thank you for your comments, for your participation. See you tomorrow with a new topic. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Thank you for joining. Bye bye.